What is up, everybody? Oh man, we have some things to talk about. First of all, how's everybody doing? What's going on? Tell me everything. I want to give credit absolutely where credit is due, and DC designed that thumbnail. I added the words. So shout out to DC. Oh, I added the tiger too. But DC designed that, and I'm so grateful. So thank you, DC. Make sure you go subscribe to her channel as well. Also, I got my hair done, and thank you, Charlene, for the compliment. So the blue is just the blue that didn't fade, not fade. It wouldn't bleach out. So we kept it this way, and I love it. Thank you, Janelle, for the super chat or super sticker. I appreciate you so much. You guys are amazing. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. I know you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Let me preface all of this with, yes, I'm going to go through the court documents and read it. These are all public records. They are all, anybody can download them. They're totally accessible. Here's DC's channel too, in case you want to go and subscribe if you haven't already. And then anything else that I share is going to be my opinion. I'm not stating it as a fact, just sharing my opinion. So if you have not already liked the stream, please make sure that you do that. My goal is to get this into the hands of the people that need to see it. I'll just leave it at that. So when you like, when you comment, when you make sure that you're subscribed and you interact during the live stream, or shout out to Replay Crew, that helps get the word out. That helps get it into the hands of the people that need it. So and if you happen to be brand new to my channel, my name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. It's a mouthful. Also, go follow me on Instagram at The Real Beast Mode. Alexis, thank you so much for this. Wow, that's incredible. I appreciate you so much. Okay, but I've been thinking about getting one of those. You'll have to let me know what you think. All right, let's get into it. I have no idea how long this live stream is going to be, but I feel like I want to give you the meat of what has been shared with me. So brace yourselves. There is an individual in Pruvit, and his name is Michael Rutherford. And he is one of the top leaders in the company. He's also somebody that started Pruvit with Brian Underwood and Terry. And so he's been around since 2015-ish, and probably even before then. I believe, I'm not stating this part as fact, but I think that there's some history between Brian and Brian Underwood is the CEO of Pruvit, in case you don't know. Between Brian and Michael, they go back to previous companies, I believe. So Michael Rutherford is suing Pruvit for a breach of contract. And we're going to go through all of the legal documents. Yeah. He's suing Pruvit for breach of contract because Pruvit is withholding his pay. And apparently there is an internal policy where if there's some sort of I don't want to say disagreement, but I'm going to say disagreement. If there's some sort of a disagreement between like the CEO, Brian, and Michael, they're supposed to like freeze the funds and put it into escrow and all of that stuff. Okay. So Michael is suing Pruvit for breach of contract because they're withholding it. Pruvit is saying, oh, well, we have this internal policy and this is, we're supposed to hold this until these two figure it out. Brian Underwood then raises his hand and says, hang on, I'm a plaintiff in this case and I'm owed over $500,000. Michael owes me $500,000. Why does Michael owe him $500,000? Because in 2015, allegedly, they entered this agreement, and one of the exhibits that was not included in this case was the actual written agreement, the contract, if you will, between Michael Rutherford and Brian Underwood. And Brian said, hey, I'm going to promote him. I'm going to market him. Thanks for all the compliments. I see them. I'm just trying to give you like the spiel of what's going on. And if you would, please share this out. Please share this out so that this gets into the right people's hands, and you guys will understand why here in just a second. Exhibits and nothing listed. So this agreement was, hey, I'm going to market him. I'm going to promote him. I'm going to send him leads. And because I'm doing that, I want 50% of his residual income, meaning, I believe, basically 50% of his downline bonus from Pruvit would be paid to Brian Underwood. First of all, I have so many things to say about this and why I think it is so slimy, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And so that's basically the gist of it. So Pruvit is saying, well, hey, the court's going to have to figure this out because I don't know who I'm supposed to pay here. So, and the court, I guess, ruled today, they threw out a temporary a TRO. We're going to get to all of this. I know I'm all over the place, but it is wild. And what I want you guys to think about as we're going through these documents is, why would it morally and ethically be okay for the CEO of an MLM company, or any company for that matter, to enter this sort of agreement with their top distributor saying that they are going to promote this one distributor? They're going to give them leads. They're going to market them so that they make more money. And then I want you to give me some sort of a kickback, 50% of your downline commission, essentially. How is that okay? So think about that as we're going about. They did have court today, and yeah, so let's just get into some of these documents. The first thing that we're going to look at, and again, this is all public record, it's available for anybody to download, all of that. I agree. I think it's absolutely a conflict of interest, and I think it's slimy. That's my opinion. I think that it's slimy. I think that it takes the greed to a whole nother level. Yeah. Where is DC? I know. Yeah. Hey, Janet. So Janet says Michael was in Ripplin with Brian and Terry back in 2013, and then it was shut down for being a pyramid scheme in 2014, and then all three of them opened up Pruvit. Yeah. Along with several other people, which I probably need to put in a video. So let's go. All right. Now, this is the first one. This is I'm going to read this from my phone. I think it'll be easier. I know that this is probably hard to read, but we're just going to go through it. I'm going to read from my Google Drive here. So give me 1 second. This is the complaint that Michael Rutherford filed, and it's Ketones Rule LLC, which I believe is Michael Rutherford's LLC, and it's against Pruvit. And it reads, Ketones Rule LLC is a Nevada limited LLC in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah. Can't wait to run into them. The defendant, Pruvit Ventures, is a Texas corporation headquartered in Melissa, Texas. Ketones Rule seeks over $75,000 in damages from Pruvit, which I have since learned that because it's more than $75,000, that makes it a federal case. This was a federal, yeah. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over the claims alleged herein pursuant to diversity, of citizenship and Ketones Rules, asserted damages being over the $75,000 threshold amount in controversy. Oh, a dramatic reading? Okay, maybe at some of the good parts I'll do that. Give us the lore, LOL. Oh, God. Also this, how are these three able to operate like this? Yeah. But it's his empire. Also, how do you have an agreement like this when it's supposed to be, if I can do it, anybody can do it. This is for everybody. You can be up on this stage next year. Well, if you have these secret deals with your top distributors, is it for everybody? No, I don't think so. I mean, we know statistically it's not, but this is just making it so much harder for other people. I feel like it's, oof, I don't know. Okay, venue is proper pursuant to 28 USC 1391 because pruvit is subject to personal jurisdiction in Texas, and a substantial part of the events giving rise to the action occurred in Texas. Pruvit's policies and procedures, which constitute a contract between pruvit and Ketone's rule, also provides the parties agree that jurisdiction and venue of any controversy or claim arising from the prover agreement or between pruvit and the promoter shall be in Collin County, Texas. Here are the allegations. Ketone's rule incorporates the above allegations as though specifically set forth herein. Ketone's rule, God, this is a mouth. Ketone's rule. I'm just giving you guys a teaser. We're not a pyramid scheme. That would be illegal. We don't do anything illegal or shady. I wonder how much longer before pruvit shuts down and they try to open something new, right? I mean, they have 1 billion MLMs to choose from that Terry LaCour owns. Okay. Ketone's rule and pruvit are parties to a contract called a prover agreement, which is comprised of pruvit's policies and procedures and the pruvit compensation plan. Pruvit is a multi-level marketing company that markets health and wellness products through a network of promoters. Promoters are compensated pursuant to a commission structure outlined in the prover agreement, the policies and procedures, and the pruvit compensation plan. I think I'm on the next page. Sorry, guys. My apologies. Pursuant to Section 1.1 of the Policies and Procedures, pruvit must pay Ketone's rules its earned commission in an accurate and timely manner. Put simply, pruvit has a contractual obligation to pay Ketone's rule its earned commissions. Ketone's rule, I'm just going to refer to that as KR from here on. I'm not going to keep saying that. Okay? KR, aka Michael Rutherford, is a highly successful pruvit promoter. Although KR's commissions have fluctuated over the 8 years it has been a pruvit promoter, KR currently makes approximately, pay attention friends, $60,000 to $80,000 per month in commissions. Now we can take that and we can look at the pruvit income disclosure statement and know, of course, he's at the top of the pyramid. KR commissions are the livelihood of its principal, Michael Rutherford, and his family, which includes 4 children. Pursuant to Section 7.3 of the Policies and Procedures, pruvit is required to provide counseling and an initial warning letter prior to suspending KR's commissions. Specifically, Section 7.3 of the Policies and Procedures provides that counseling and the initial warning provide an opportunity for the compliance department to bring to the attention of KR, and if you're just joining, KR is the LLC that Michael Rutherford has, the policies and procedures and the specific violation, and to provide counseling on complying with the policies and procedures and applicable law. Good, because I don't think that Ketone's rule. That's freaking funny. Wow, I believe Dustin and that Nick guy are under Rutherford. This could get interesting. Yeah. Dustin Schaefer also lives in San Diego and does a lot of training for pruvit events. And Nick Martinez, also known as the Keto Dad, is also somebody that does a lot of training. So there's this small group of people that do trainings at the pruvit events, and Michael Rutherford is also one of them. Okay. Let me remove this comment here. We are on to the next page. Hold, please. All right. The policies and procedures, the specific violation, and to provide counseling on complying with the policies and procedures and applicable laws. Great. On April 13th, 2023, Pruvit suspended KR's earned commissions. April 13th, you say? What is today? That's interesting. Pruvit never provided counseling before suspending KR's earned commissions. Pruvit also did not provide any warning letter to KR before suspending its commissions. Pruvit had no basis to suspend KR's commissions under the policies and procedures. On May 9th, KR's counsel wrote to Pruvit and asked for a legal basis for the suspension on or before May 10th, but none was provided. Wow. Oh, we're going to get there because I'm going to make some predictions. By the way, if you are a member, there should be some new emotes for you guys to be used. And one of them is something to do with a prediction. So I think you have to be on a laptop. I don't know, but there's some new ones. I made 8 new ones. Also, shout out to DC for making the one that says it's a cult or something like that. I appreciate. I don't know if she's on, but I appreciate you, DC. Okay. Where was I? On information and belief, Pruvit unlawfully suspended KR's commissions based on Pruvit's CEO and board member, Brian Underwood, using his power and authority within the company to direct the suspension. Yeah, look at all the prediction emoji or emotes. I freaking love it. On May 11th, I skipped ahead. On information and belief, Underwood directed the suspension because he is attempting to force KR's principal, Michael Rutherford, to sign an agreement with him for approximately 50% of Ketone's rules commissions. Did y'all hear that? Why the hell would Michael Rutherford sign that agreement in order to move forward and get the money that he's owed? And that's just my opinion. What? What is happening? Wait, Janet, what did you say? I missed something. I don't know yet, Rachel. I haven't done any research on the company. I just found it today, probably. Oh, okay. So probably a new MLM that's under Terry. Is that what I'm reading, Janet? Let's see. On information and belief. Okay, to sign the agreement. Okay. On May 11th, 2023, Jennifer Grace, a board member and the head of Pruvit's legal team, notified KR's counsel that Pruvit would release KR's commission if Rutherford agreed to sign an agreement with Underwood. Ms. Grace's comments strongly suggest that Pruvit suspend KR's commissions to force Rutherford signed an agreement with its CEO Underwood. What? The Infrared Coffee Company, Inc. Interesting, Janet. Upon information and belief, Underwood is demanding that Rutherford sign the agreement before Pruvit releases KR's earned commissions because Underwood needs the money himself in light of Pruvit's C-suite payroll being frozen. Now, why do I think that it's been alleged to me, let me say it this way, that the freezing of the C-suite payroll could be because they are trying to go public. If they're trying to go public and there's a current lawsuit against Pruvit, that could be big problems. So, of course, they're going to try and say, Brian, in my opinion, is going to try and say, hey, this is not something that needs to be against Pruvit. This needs to be against me, which is what it sounds like. Yeah. You guys let me know what you think. Again, that's just my opinion. As of the date of filing, Pruvit is currently... Wait. As of the date of filing, Pruvit is currently suspending $181,393.18 in Ketone's rule rules earned commissions. Miss Grace comments during the May 11th call suggested that Pruvit suspended KR's commission because Underwood made a complaint to Pruvit to dispute ownership over KR's position with Pruvit. That's sounding like a hostile takeover. For real. Hey, DC. I know you didn't see when I was talking, but I definitely shouted you out for making the thumbnail, helping me out with the thumbnail. I appreciate you so much. And also making the emote, because there's new emote members for members. Also, Shelby, also a lawyer, says that's very bad. I was hoping you would get on, Shelby. Yeah, that sounds like some underhanded BS. I agree with you completely. There is no contractual basis in Pruvit's policies and procedures for Underwood's alleged complaint to justify Pruvit's suspension of KR's commissions. Ketone's rule, KR, has never identified a sale or transfer of its interest in the position to Pruvit, which would require Pruvit's agreement to do so in advance. There is also no business dissolution of KR. Instead, as is obvious, Underwood, using his position and power within Pruvit, directed Pruvit to suspend KR's commissions, to force Rutherford to enter into an agreement with him for 50% of KR's commissions. And what's interesting, and we'll get to this part because in the TRO, they went back and forth several times, and I'm going to read Brian's response to the TRO. It's going to be very interesting. Also, this was April, May, you know what I'm saying? And then we have JL, who was just given this VP position of a department within Pruvit. I know y'all are probably thinking that same thing, right? He's an equal opportunity scammer. Hey, Tanya. So C-suite payroll suspended. So now they want to take the money from a distributor. Insane. Agreed completely with you, Jennifer. Yeah. All right. And this is where we're going to get into the breach, the counts within the breach of contract. All right. So here we go. And I'm on number 29 in case anybody is following along. I don't know if you guys can read it or not, but KR incorporates the above allegations as those specifically set forth herein. The policies and procedures constitute a valid and enforceable contract that is binding as KR and Pruvit. Ketone's rule, KR, I'm going to keep doing that, you guys. Good Lord. KR has performed all of its duties and obligations under the policies and procedures. Pruvit materially breached the policies and procedures by unlawfully suspending KR's commissions with Pruvit. As a direct and proximate result of Pruvit's breach of the policies and procedures, KR has suffered damages in an amount to be determined at trial. As a direct and proximate result of Pruvit's breach of the policies and procedures, KR is entitled to an injunction requiring Pruvit to immediately release the suspended commissions to KR. Wherefore, plaintiff requests this court to enter judgment as follows. For an award of compensatory damages in an amount to be determined at trial for Pruvit's breach of contract. For an injunction requiring Pruvit to immediately release the suspension on KR's commissions. Summer speaks O'Doyle rules. For an injunction requiring Pruvit to immediately release, I just read that, for an award of KR's attorney's fees and costs pursuant to Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code 38.001, and for such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper, dated this 17th day of May 2023. So this was filed on May 17th. 2023. Okay. And when was it that JL was given the VP position of a certain department within Pruvit? I see all the stop it. I love that. Why say it myself when Aaron can say it so well? Stop it. Is JL's new position a grasp at trying to do damage control? Could be. In my opinion, what I think is happening is Michael Rutherford is being pushed out. And, oh, this sounds really terrible. Do I want to say this? I believe he's being pushed out, and I think that they're wanting somebody to step up and do some of the training. Because if you've ever been to a Pruvit event, Michael Rutherford is a big piece of these events, along with Dustin Schaefer, along with Nick Martinez, and some other people. They play big roles at these events. They're doing a lot of speaking, especially Michael Rutherford. And so if that role is not being filled, they need somebody to come in and fill it. And, oh, do I want to say it? I think that I think that they know more than they are leading on when it comes to Jessie Lee's health, because some of the reports go all the way back to 2017. And so I think they're wanting to love bomb her, give her this role so that they learn everything they can before she's not able to share information anymore. That's just my opinion. I'm not stating it as a fact. And let me be very clear, because I have to say this every time. I do hope she gets better. I hope she beats cancer. I really, really do. But when you look at all of the pieces put together, it's kind of like, yeah. So that's my opinion. Exactly. And I don't know, was Michael Rutherford there? Did he attend that event? I don't know. Yeah, dark. It really is. And I hope I'm wrong, you guys. I hope I'm completely wrong. I really do. And if I am wrong, I'll take ownership of that. I agree with Auntie Lushy here. In my opinion, Pruvit is exploiting JLW. Yeah. It is twisty, as DC says. Exactly, Shadow. Really twisty. Yeah, and I think we all have major concerns on her health, of course, about her health. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the, I think this is the order. Hold on. The motion to intervene. We're going to go to that one. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up on my phone here so that I can see everything. I trust your perspective. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, this is twisty and so wrong. Her health is concerning 100%. Yeah. Yeah, no twisty sticker here. Yeah. Well, I think that's part of DC's members. No, I looked. Rutherford was not there. It really spiked my spider senses, and here we have it. Yeah. So because and thank you for sharing that with us. He was a huge part of Pruvit events. So for him to not be there is very interesting. Even if she was healthy, I'd be concerned about the amount of stuff she's putting up her booty. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right, so let's read. This is the motion to intervene, Brian Underwood's motion to intervene. And this was filed June 14th. I need to verify that. All right, so pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24, Brian Underwood moves to intervene in this action as a third-party plaintiff and states as follows. And this is, from what I was told, this is really rare for somebody to go, wait a second, I'm the plaintiff in this. But I do think that it's because he's trying to interject himself into that to take the heat, in a sense, off of Pruvit. Makes me question what Brian and Terry's relationship. Terry LaCour is the owner of Pruvit. It makes me wonder what that relationship is like with all of this, with the, in my opinion, possibility of them going public. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Okay. At issue in this lawsuit in defendant Pruvit Venture Inc.'s non-payment, of certain commissions allegedly owed to KR, Ketones Rule. Hold on. Okay. It is entitled to the entirety of the commissions. However, Pruvit has not paid the commissions because Underwood is entitled to half of the residual commissions pursuant to a long-standing agreement. But the agreement was not provided. So it makes me wonder if that was just a verbal agreement between two bros, you know? Oh my God. And de facto partnership between and among Underwood, KR, and or non-party Michael Rutherford. Therefore, Underwood seeks to intervene in the lawsuit to protect his share of the commission and sue KR and Rutherford for breach of contract. So Rutherford sued Pruvit and said, hey, you're in breach of contract. You're holding my commissions. You shouldn't be. And now Brian Underwood is like, wait, hang on. I'm a plaintiff in this case. And by the way, he is breaching a contract. Brian, where's the contract? Because it's not in any of the paperwork. Where's this contract that you're saying you had with Michael Rutherford? It would be so simple to say, I say simple, but not simple, to say this is the original contract. If there were actually a contract that both parties signed, there's no contract. There's no exhibit providing that contract that I saw. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. But if it's a breach of contract, the contract would be typically provided, you know? Oh God, it's giving period, comma. Anyways, where was I? Okay, factual background. That's the next page. Let's see. Okay. Underwood has invested in and supported Rutherford in the MLM space for over a decade. Their work together in past ventures include iZig and Riplin. There you go, Janet. It's right there in black and white. As part of their work together, Underwood invested in Rutherford, including by paying some of his expenses, rent, and fronting his commissions. In July or August 2015, Rutherford proposed that their work together include Pruvit. In so doing, Rutherford agreed to pay Underwood half of the monthly residual commissions earned from Pruvit. In exchange, among other things, Underwood would use his credibility and influence to help Rutherford and cause some Pruvit promoters and mutual contacts in the absence of conflicts to be put into a common downline to be headed by Rutherford. So tell me again how this is fair for anybody, regardless of when they join Pruvit. Oh, thank you, Shelby. Not all contracts must be in writing, but if there is no witness to a verbal contract, I don't know how it can be proved in a court. Thank you so much for that. Oh, man. Okay. Two of the promoters brought into the downline by Underwood generated a total of over $110 million of revenue. From that point in time through 2019, Rutherford headed the new downline, received 1099s from Pruvit, and paid Underwood, or caused him to be paid, his half of the residual commissions. In 2020, per Rutherford's direction, Pruvit began paying the residual commissions to, upon information and belief, a Rutherford-founded California LLC called Ketones Rule LLC for tax purposes, and issuing 1099s to the same. Underwood continued to receive his half of his commission until May 2022. That is because, despite their agreement, Rutherford stopped causing half of the residual commissions to be paid to Underwood and refused to make further payments, allegedly because of a judgment entered against Rutherford as part of his divorce. This is so messy. Pruvit. Are y'all embarrassed? You should be. This is messy. Also this. Plus, does that seem like a reasonable contract term? Half his commissions? I don't think a judge will buy that. Also, there's no date on it. There's no, it's going to start on this day and end on this day. It's just indefinite. What? It's so wild. I see all the comments about JL, and just know that I do plan on reacting to some of her most recent lives. So we can definitely talk about that then for sure. Okay, Underwood continued to, let me make sure I'm on the right page. Yeah, Underwood continued to receive half of his commissions until May 2022. I already read that part, as part of his divorce. Wait, okay, I'm confused. His divorce to his current, isn't he married to Keisha? Is her name Keisha? I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some digging on that. Underwood notified Pruvit of his commission dispute with Rutherford and KR. In accordance with its policies and procedures, Pruvit stopped paying the commissions to KR. What? Until the parties resolve the dispute. Given that KR tried to circumvent that requirement by filing this lawsuit against Pruvit to try restart commission payments while still refusing to pay Underwood, Underwood has no other choice but to file his motion to protect his interest in the commission. He has no other choice, right? Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Okay, we're going to the next page. Let me make this smaller. Arguments and authorities. Underwood has the right to intervene under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24A. Intervention as a matter of right occurs if the following requirements are met. 1, a timely application. 2, the application claims an interest in the subject matter of the action. 3, the applicant shows that disposition of the action may impair or impede the applicant's ability to protect its interests. And 4, the applicant's interest in is not adequately represented by the existing parties to the litigation. And it gives a source. Okay. Is to be construed liberally and doubts resolved in favor of the proposed intervener. That's such a weird word. Underwood's motion to intervene is timely. The Fifth Circuit applies the following 4-part test to determine timeliness. The length of time between the would-be interveners. Interveners? That's so weird. Learning of his interest and his petition to intervene. The extent of prejudice to existing parties from allowing late intervention. The extent of prejudice to the would-be intervener if the petition is denied, and any, blah, blah, blah. Underwood satisfies this test. Let's see. I'm going to skip ahead. Hold on. Underwood learned of this lawsuit only after it was filed on May 17th, 2023. In filing this motion, he seeks to intervene just weeks after the lawsuit is initiated. He would be hard-pressed to intervene sooner. Moreover, KR and Pruvit will suffer no prejudice from Underwood's intervention. Right. Right. Pruvit has not yet answered, and there have been no hearings or rulings in this case. If anything, granting KR's requested relief in this lawsuit without permitting Underwood to intervene would prejudice Underwood. How, bro? How? What? Oh my God. A significant portion of the Pruvit residual commissions belong to him. This motion is timely. Oh my God. Underwood has an interest. I think I'm on the next page. Yeah, Underwood has an interest in the residual commission. As detailed above, Rutherford and KR agreed that at least half the Pruvit residual commissions belong to Underwood. Thus, Underwood has a substantial interest in the residual commissions. 3, denying Underwood's right of intervening prejudices him. In the court's grant, if this court, grants KR's required relief, then it would distribute money rightfully belonging to Underwood to an entity with no right to the same. Moreover, as demonstrated by KR's complaint, and emergency motion for TRO, which was verbally thrown out or whatever today. I can't remember what the exact terminology is. But yeah, that happened today. That was thrown out. And Rutherford's claims of poverty therein, ketones, KR, and Rutherford will almost certainly expend the commissions immediately upon receipt, since the amount owed to Underwood far exceeded the amounts being held by Pruvit. If the mandatory injunction Rutherford seeks were granted, Underwood's money will be gone. Oh my God. Guys. Exactly. If I was in Pruvit, I'd be so pissed. That's more special treatment. It sounded like outright bribery. Yeah. Hey, come build this company with me. I know we've been a part of other companies. Come build this company and I'll promote you. I'll market you. We'll make you the face of Pruvit. And for doing that, just set, 50% of your downline of your residual commission, which I do think is a small part of the breakdown in the back office of Pruvit, but I need to verify that. In my opinion, Brian did this at the request of Terry, so the original lawsuit is confused and Pruvit won't have to pay the commissions Michael is owed. That very well could be. Very well could be. I know, poverty. Yeah, this seriously sounds like bribery and money laundering. Yeah. This is wild, you guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, number 4, no existing party adequately represents Underwood's interests. KR does not adequately represent Underwood's interest for the foregoing reasons, nor does Pruvit as the entity does not make any determinations as to how the residual commission should be split between Underwood and KR and or Rutherford. Indeed, Pruvit's policies and procedures require non-payment of the commissions until the disputing parties reach a resolution themselves. Underwood's intervention is therefore required to resolve this dispute. So Pruvit's like, hey, we're going to hang on to this money, but they need to figure this out. God, this is ridiculous. Excuse me. Oh God, me too. Me too, because I just have this feeling. I already kind of told you guys, but yeah. There's nothing ethical about this. I agree completely. I agree. I think, in my opinion, Rutherford is just as dirty for entering into this contract to get a step ahead when he's the face of Pruvit, saying, listen, if I can do it, you can do it, but has this secret deal. Also, since we're talking about secret deals, how many other deals are out there? If there's this secret deal between Brian and Michael Rutherford, how many other commissions is Brian putting his hands into? How many other secret deals are that we don't know about? If he's doing it one time, I'm sure there's others. And again, that's just my opinion, but yeah. But if Underwood is Pruvit, that doesn't seem right. Yeah. So Brian is the CEO and Pruvit is owned by Terry LaCour. So yeah, see, same time, Auntie Lushy. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. And now he's in poverty. What a great deal. Yeah. We've been hanging around too long. We really have been. And I love every second. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Where was I? Okay. So now we're under B. I think that's on the next page. Yeah. Okay. So let me make it smaller. Alternatively, this court should permit Underwood to intervene under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24B permits a movant to intervene if the intervention is timely and the movant has I hope I'm saying that right, has a claim or defense that shares with the main action a common question of law or fact. The court's decision to permit intervention is wholly discretionary. And it gives a source. In deciding whether to permit intervention, the court must consider whether the intervention will unduly delay or prejudice the I'm not going to try and say that word because yikes, of the original party's rights. Here, KR and Underwood seek to litigate the same legal question: who is entitled to the pruvit residual commissions? And as detailed above, Underwood filed this motion to intervene just weeks after the lawsuit was filed and before pruvit has even answered. There's no prejudice to any party by permitting Underwood to intervene. And then here's the conclusion. It's a pyramid within a pyramid. Yeah. This is giving me bar exam flashbacks. This area of law is almost never tested, but it was on the bar exam that I took. Oh my God, Shelby, that's really cool. I did reach out to my lawyer and was asking a lot of questions, and she said that this motion to intervene is really rare and does not happen a whole lot. All right, so here's the conclusion. Underwood respectfully requests that the court grant this motion, permit Underwood to intervene, a third-party plaintiff in this proceeding, file Underwood's third-party original complaint attached as Exhibit 1, and award Underwood all such other relief to which they are entitled. So he wants the money that pruvit has held from Michael Rutherford. In conclusion, period, comma. Okay, now we're going to look at the interpleader. That's what we're going to look at next. And this is from KR against pruvit. Okay, yeah. It goes into like where the entities are. Pruvit is in Texas. KR is in Vegas. I love that for me. The jurisdiction, the venue. Okay. Now, then it goes into operative facts. Pruvit and KR are parties to the prover agreement. Okay. I feel like we already covered this. Hold on. Okay. KR and or Rutherford have been parties to the prover agreement for the past 8 years. The prover agreement allows pruvit to take appropriate action for a variety of reasons, including any actions deemed detrimental, disruptive, or injurious to pruvit. During that time period, 2 individuals have been involved in the KR account. Pruvit has been advised and has knowledge of a business or partnership agreement between the individuals regarding a split of the KR commissions. The individuals involved with KR in the agreement are Michael Rutherford and Brian Underwood. On April 13th, 2023, Mr. Underwood notified pruvit that there was a dispute between himself and Mr. Rutherford leading to the KR commissions. Rather than be subject to litigation between Mr. Rutherford and Mr. Underwood regarding the KR account, pruvit suspended the account and has escrowed all funds owing to KR. Currently, the amount of $253,747.20 is held in escrow for the KR account. The amount of the disputed funds will change as commissions are earned. Pruvit incorporates the preceding paragraphs as the interpleader complaint as if they were set forth, blah, blah, blah. Rule 22 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure permits an action for interpleader if a party is exposed to double or multiple liability as a result of competing claims. The claims of Mr. Rutherford and Mr. Underwood are in conflict. This is crazy. Oh. Pruvit is an innocent entity and has in no way colluded with any of the claimants. Pruvit claims no interest in the disputed funds, accepting only reasonable fees and costs requested below. As a result of the continued and conflicting claims to the disputed funds, this interpleader is necessary to ensure that the disputed funds are paid to the proper person. Oh my God. So this is Pruvit going, well, the girls are fighting. So I don't know who this needs to go to, but it's in an escrow fund. These 2 knuckleheads need to figure it out. That's what this sounds like to me. Yeah, why would Pruvit even do this? Well, if they're trying to go public and there's a lawsuit against Pruvit, you know, but I don't see how Pruvit can hold the commissions. If Underwood has a dispute with Rutherford, court is where that's handled. He can't force the company he works for to not pay Rutherford. Yeah, but I think there's an internal policy or something within the policies and procedures that says if there's any kind of dispute, but the dispute isn't between Pruvit and Michael Rutherford. The dispute is between Brian Underwood and Michael Rutherford in this secret side deal situation. So I don't know how that would be upheld. Not that I'm an expert in this area, but the dispute is not between Rutherford and Pruvit. It's between Brian and Rutherford. So yeah, and I agree. It should go to the person who earned the commissions. I do think that this is Brian trying to flex. And again, that's just my opinion. How embarrassing. Okay, so Pruvit is basically saying that the court direct Pruvit to deposit the disputed funds, discharging Pruvit Ventures from any and all liability related to the disputed funds, awarding Pruvit Ventures Inc. its reasonable fees and costs in connection with the action, and awarding Pruvit Ventures and all other relief that this court deems equitable and just. This is crazy. So Pruvit's like, we don't want to be involved in this. Just tell us where we need to send these funds to. What? Okay, now the last thing that I want to show you is this is the opposition for the TRO that was thrown out. And this came specifically from Brian Underwood. So we're going to look at this real quick. Okay. And this was filed June 9th, 2023. All right. To the Honorable Judge, Okay, let's go to the facts. Number one, Pruvit and KR are parties to the Prover Agreement, blah, blah, blah. We heard all that. I'm going to go down to the argument. Rule 65. Wait. Hold on. I'm going to back up a second. These are some of the same details. So on, let's see. On April 13th, 2023, Mr. Underwood notified Pruvit that there was a dispute. Okay, we read that already. Currently, the amount, okay, we read that already, although there's several amounts. But I think that's because the commissions are running as this lawsuit is still going or whatever. The count has been suspended since April 13, 2023. Over a month later, KR filed its complaint on May 17th. KR then waited another 8 days to file a motion for temporary restraining order. In total, Ketones Rules waited 42 days to seek relief from the court for the alleged imminent harm. Okay, the argument. Rule 65B of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure authorizes the court to issue a TRO, I'm abbreviating that, it's obviously spelled out in this, without written or oral notice to the adverse party, but only if a specific facts in an affidavit or a verified complaint clearly show that immediate and irreparable injury, loss, or damage will result to the movement before the adverse party can be heard in opposition. Okay, hold on, I'm going to move forward. Okay, this is like defining terms. Hold on. I want to get to, I just want to read this. Hold on, guys. Do I not have the, let's just go to the conclusion. KR will not be irreparably harmed if the commissions are placed in escrow or the registry of the court. KR deliberately delayed seeking relief for 42 days, strongly suggesting that it does not face irreparable harm. So Brian's trying to say, listen, dude, you're fine. KR has only provided speculative evidence as to their alleged irreparable, good Lord, harm. I'm getting hungry, guys. That's part of the problem. Okay, bear with me. KR has only provided speculative evidence, and and has not demonstrated why monetary damages would not be an adequate remedy in this matter. KR has failed to carry its burden of showing irreparable harm and the need for a restraining order and or injunction. Therefore, KR's application for temporary restraining order should be denied. But I want to show you guys the exhibit. So, oh, these are taxes. I'm not going to show that. I mean, I know it's public record, but I'm not going to do that. I want to show you. Am I imagining this as something? Is this under a different area? I can't find it. But in Brian's response, he talks about how they entered this agreement on or around July or August of 2015. So anyways, that's that. Grab yourself a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, ketones is misspelled in this document several times. So that's what's going on. Michael Rutherford, who's one of the top distributors in Pruvit, is suing Pruvit in federal court because Pruvit is holding his commissions. And allegedly it's because Brian said, hey, I'm in a dispute with Michael Rutherford because we had this agreement where he was going to pay me 50% of the residual commission. And he stopped doing that on or around May of 2022. And so we're in a dispute. And so now we're going to hold all of his funds. And Pruvit said, okay, we're going to put his money in escrow. We're going to wait and see, if you guys can figure this out. And now here we have this messy situation that, in my opinion, is embarrassing. So if you are a distributor in Pruvit, I know there was a lot of legal terms and a lot of words. I get that. But just think about this. Think about what you're told. You're told in this company and in MLMs in general that it's an opportunity for anybody. And regardless of when you start, you can be successful. But specifically with this company, we see that there are secret deals that the CEO is doing. And I want you to really think about that for a second. I mean, is this somebody that you think is somebody you should look up to? And again, just my opinion, I don't think so. I think that this is somebody that is going to do secret things on the side, and it's going to benefit his bottom line, which is the number in his bank account, at the cost of whoever is in the way. That's just how I think. I think that this is absolutely embarrassing. I think it is ridiculous. I do, in my opinion, think that this is Brian Underwood trying to flex his power and say, hey, I'm in a dispute with this guy, hold his commission checks, and he's trying to like smoke him out in a sense. I do think that he is trying to get Michael Rutherford out of there because they can't agree. And I think that that's why, and again, my opinion, why Jesse Lee was put in as the VP of a department. So yeah, those are my opinions. Those are my opinions. So I definitely think it's unethical, just like Charlene said. I think it's unethical. I think it's greedy. I think it's an abuse of power. I think that yeah, that's what I think. Let me see. But being the CEO of Pruvit should not be a guarantee that he gets paid by Rutherford, because Pruvit and Underwood are not one and the same. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. So freaking crazy, you guys. Just think, I mean, if you're in this company, you happen to be watching quietly, and maybe you've had experiences and you're like, I don't like how this feels, or you had that, that feeling in your gut and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Start to ask yourself some questions. Start to watch some videos on people talking about the Pruvit income disclosure statement. Here you have somebody that, according to these court documents, is making $60,000 to $80,000. Here you have somebody a month. Here you have somebody that was, in my opinion, one of Brian's right-hand right-hand men. Yeah, right-hand men, and was, on stage at Pruvit events. And in my opinion, Brian is using his power to shut down Michael Rutherford getting his pay. I think it's an abuse of power. I think it's grimy. I think the greed is front and center. I have already said it, but I think Pruvit should be embarrassed, because this is not a good look. And I do think that Brian is trying to say, hey, this is between him and I, not Pruvit, because I think that they're trying to go public or thinking about going public. So yeah. I agree with that, Janet. Yeah. Is Tish here? Yeah, go subscribe to Tish's channel. She's amazing. Hi. Yeah, go subscribe to her channel. She's awesome. Do you think Michael will get his money in the end? I don't know. I find it interesting that they're saying there's this contract. I mean, there's evidence. There were 1099s of the payouts from Rutherford to Brian Underwood. And so there's evidence of those payments being made, and all of a sudden they just stopped. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's interesting. Aaron, now would be a perfect time to play the Pruvit commercial featuring Brian Underwood. It would. I actually don't have that saved, but I know the Clown Town did a great video, and I know that they are close to 2,000 subscribers, so check them out too. You got out of this hole just in time. It keeps getting deeper. You know what? My husband said the same thing today when I was telling him we had to run some errands this morning. And I was telling him what was going on. And he was like, God, I am so glad you are out of MLM. I am so glad you are not a part of this. Because I think at the end of the day, the CEO of an MLM is essentially going to do what they want. So. Oh, whoa, that's interesting. Just Googling and found a case from England and Wales Advertising Standards Authority against Pruvit and some UK promoters in 2021. Yeah. That commercial is so creepy. It really is. Could he have given JLW a job to protect her? I don't think it's really to protect her. I think it's to love bomb her into sharing specific information before she can't share it anymore. I'm just going to say it that way. Yeah, play the Velvet Raz promo so everyone gets the thumbnail. Let me see. Let me see if I have it. Hold on. Doesn't it have, I think it has copyrighted music on it. Oh, wait, that's on the Pruvit page, isn't it? Did you guys know that Pruvit, their Instagram blocked me? Isn't that hilarious? I think it's so funny. I'm going to remove this now. I think it's so hilarious. Okay, let me see. Where is that? Is that on Brian's page or is that on Pruvit's page? Instagram. Who wants to drink Velvet? Exactly. Oh, great question. So I actually need to check my P.O. box because I was supposed to get the Keto Max today or tomorrow. So I'm going to check my P.O. box. And then on Monday, I'm going to contact the lab and see what I need to do, how to make payment, how they want me to ship it and label it, and if there's anything extra that they need. So I will be sending out all of the ketones next week to be tested. And then once I talk to the lab, I'll find out how long they expect the testing to take. I am going to take I'm going to send 3 different samples. I think I need to look at the amount that I have collected for this testing, thanks to you guys. And so I think I'm going to do the Keto Max, Keto Nat, and I think I'm going to also send Keto, the kids version, Keto Light, I think is what it's called. Yeah, so those are the 3. I'm laughing at this comment. Blocked by a company, epic. That means you and the movement are making progress. Yeah, we're definitely getting loud. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Auntie Lushy. Thank you. I saw the video from Clown Town. It was weird, honestly, and cringy. You know what I might do? I might just screen share from the Clown Town, But please make sure that you guys like go subscribe to their channel. They're awesome. This is wild, isn't it? Crazy. Okay, so let me get their channel pulled up. Bear with me, guys. Also, their video on this was phenomenal. Okay, let me do this. Okay. All right, here they are. I'm going to make myself smaller so you can see them. Guys, go subscribe to their channel, okay? This is the video. I'm going to play it. But make sure you know, like it and subscribe, all that stuff. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh God, they're so funny. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward, but go subscribe. I know. I think they play it again at the end, don't they? I think the cringe count was like 21 or something like that. Did they play it again? I don't remember. Oh, okay. Well, that was essentially it. But yeah, they're amazing. That was an ad that Pruvit and Brian Underwood put together. The winking. Oh, the video was muted. Okay. Sorry, it was muted, you guys. I think the whole thing is at the start. Okay. It was just clown music. It wasn't actually like a copyrighted music, but go subscribe to their channel because it's awesome. I am definitely looking forward to watching how all of this unfolds and whether Michael Rutherford is paid his commissions off of his downline. And what happens with Brian Underwood. When I was speaking with my legal advisor earlier today, she said, you know, if this were a regular company, the board or whatever would say, listen, we're going to give you a severance package, Brian Underwood, and we're going to send you on your way because this is a little too much for us. But again, this is not a regular company. In my opinion, it's a multi-level marketing company. And I've just seen these companies do whatever they want. So yeah, clown music feels appropriate. Oh, it reminded me of a Wish version of Hugh Hefner, 100%. Also, do me a favor, guys, like the stream real quick. I know this was a little bit shorter of a stream. I know that it was a little bit drier than it normally is, but I really wanted to bring these documents to you guys. I really wanted to talk about this because I do feel like there's a bunch of pieces kind of coming together, and I'm interested to see how they continue to come together. So yeah. Ugh, it's gross. All right. Well, I'm going to head out. I'm going to have some dinner. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, don't join an MLM. And if you see anything, hear anything, feel free to send it my way. I am going to be reacting to some of the Jessie Lee content that she's put out. I have some things to say because, as many of you know, I used to work in a lab, so I understand how lab things work. I used to be a medical laboratory technician. So I have a degree. I used to have a certification. I don't anymore because I haven't worked in that field in a while. So, you know, anyways, I appreciate you. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.